To join us, we have our latest Dining and Doodles. I forgot to put it on the opening again, but we will just go from here. All right, we have a request this week for a drawing that is another unmasking. I believe this is the last, maybe the last one this year that's an unmasking request. Let me go back to our list here and see. But I am going to be making an announcement about these streams. Not in a bad way. Nothing in a bad way, actually going in the opposite direction. These are a little bit more popular with our streamings for the art. So I am going to probably start another art stream during the week. But I don't want to do technically a filler stream or fill up the streams as we are. So these are gonna be pop up. They're just gonna. I'm not gonna do anything directly. I'm not gonna have a set time. And unlike these, I mean, I could do some of the Dining and Doodles requests as we go because we do have them all the way up through February right now. But I am going to be doing a lot of the requests in the future, still on this stream. But I think we're just gonna do some just generalized drawings. Some original stuff. We'll do some chatting and whatnot, and they'll just be short little streams. They'll be kind of like our reading streams, live reading streams that we do on Thursday nights, where they're just gonna be quick little pop ups. And I wanted to kind of do that and make that announcement early, because it got cut off. We kind of said it on the stream yesterday, and it kind of got cut off on our notification with things because YouTube got cut off yesterday, and I was not aware of it until after the stream had ended. So if you were interested in watching the Tales game, hey, Cooking Dojo, hey, I just saw your post there, Justin. Yeah, everything's going great. I'm just like I said yesterday when we did our live stream of Tales of Symphonia for the first stream. The stream got cut on YouTube. You only get about an hour of the stream. It was a 6-hour stream. We went through and played the first 6 hours of that game. So if you can go on Twitch, you can watch it there. Or if you go on our Facebook page, Embria Arts Facebook page, you can catch it there as well. And it's full 6 hours. Yes, 6 hours of Tales of Symphonia. It is going to be a long game through play. I may be doing that twice a week instead of Minecraft because we do want to get through all the Tales games. And yeah, if you don't know, also in the gaming streams and in the Let's Read stream, we announced, and as you can see, the model changed. So our model is a bit better for the stream, so it's less laggy, less cut up, and it moves and reacts better. We will be also changing outfits throughout the season, as well as backgrounds. That's right now, I've got my own original. Usually we have sort of just a general background. Today we've got some Demon Blade background artwork that I've done in probably, I think, 3 years ago. But if you are tuning in and you read Demon Blade, this is based off the current arc that's going on. This is a scene that will appear in the Homecoming horror arc that we are currently in at the beginning of. It's a scene that will occur. So it's a nice little touchy scene, but it'll occur about midway through this story arc. And on to today's artwork. Let's see here. Yeah, well, the question was, do we have another masking drawing? Yeah, actually we do. We have one more next week. My mistake. We have two. So we have another one. Last week we had one from Damien Tran, and we'll have another Damien Tran tomorrow or next week. And that will be the last masking one for the year. And we won't have another one until early January. The rest of them will be strictly fan art, fan drawings. One, it's an original drawing by myself because it'll be Christmas Day. I do plan to do a stream on Christmas Day. or Christmas Day evening or whatever. I don't know why DeviantArt keeps crashing on me, but it does today. I don't know. So we're gonna get on with the art, and we'll do some, basic chatting today of what's going on. Some of the stuff you can see here. You can see the new comic that I'm working on slowly getting out. I literally just finished up the 2 panels from last week because I've been so busy on other things, life stuff that I've been trying to take care of, and we'll kind of get into that a little bit today, because that will affect streams in the future. But this is the current sketch that I've done earlier today that meets what they're looking for. So we have the information right here. And basically one costume alter ego of OC Jake, which is, let me pull up their character here. And you can see a little mark here because I accidentally drew on that chart, on that layer. So this is their character, OC Jake. And they had sort of the same thing. They had them undressing to Noctis. So this is their original character, OC Jake. And they wanted them to become, and let's hide the sketch while we can do this, Noctis from Final Fantasy 15. I played Final Fantasy 15. I own Final Fantasy 15. And while I love the Final Fantasy series, it's not my favorite. I mean, honestly, I got kind of bored with 15. Honestly, I've gotten bored with all the series since 9. And I can honestly say I'm in the rarity that I did not like 9. I know a lot of people love 9. I don't really care for it. It got a little too weird for me. I don't know why. 8 was okay. 7 is, of course, it's 7. It's a good game. It's not 6, which is my opinion. I am a fan of 6. I feel the storytelling was immensely beautiful in 6, and that is why I will continue to be a fan of 6. And we will be playing 6 when 6 comes out again on Switch, or I mean not Switch, Steam. So I will be playing 6 when it comes out. I will be adding it to the list. But as I stated this week and started this week, we are going to do the Tales games because I was a fan of Tales of Symphonia, and I've honestly never played any of the other Tales games. And Arise is the big game right now. So I definitely want to try and check out Arise, but I want to do it by playing through some of the games before it. So we started with, we're going through all the games that we can get on Steam. So we're not starting with the Tales games that were before Symphonia, but we are on Tales of Symphonia, which is probably one of my favorite games for the GameCube. I played that thing to death. I still have the game. Like I said, on the stream, let's see, talking about Final Fantasy, because I wasn't a big fan of 9 either. 10 was actually my favorite. Oh, okay, yeah, I mean, I played 10. I had to keep stopping 10. 10 and 12, I continuously just got lost, and I didn't really care for the plot too much. I know people love 10, and it's the first one to get a sequel. I get where people love 10. I really don't care for 10-2 at all. I tried to play it. I was like, what the hell am I playing? This is literally something. And I mean, I have Barbie dolls. I have Sailor Moon dolls. I did not ever play dress up with my dolls. I was never that kind of person. What is going on with my freaking internet? I don't know. Hopefully we don't crash the stream. I'm going to close. It could just be the browser that's acting weird. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't my favorite. I've always, like I said, I love 6. I played to death 6. I played to death 7. I don't know if I'll go through and try to do a completionist version of 7. not 7 Remake. I mean, 7 Remake, I played through, I've beaten it. I've not tried to do a completionist of 7th Remake because it's good, but it's no Final Fantasy 7. Uh, I hate to say that. I really do. It's a wonderful game. It's beautiful. It sort of recaptures the story, but it is not an RPG, in my opinion. It is kind of like RPG light, if you get my drift. And it's kind of like it's an action RPG, and I mean, I can't diss action RPGs because Tales is an action RPG, but Tales started the concept of the action RPG. Um, and in Tales, you have combos. I mean, you can just mash in 7 and you can get a remake, and you don't even have to really be good, and you pretty much can beat the game. Um, I mean, it helps to know how to counter, and you'll be spamming the hell out of potions, which is annoying in that game. I don't know why I don't like Remake as much as I do. But 15, I wanted to like 15. The problem with 15, in my opinion, is the story never really captured me. And I'll do some spoiler on this. So if you've not beaten 15, or you've not played through 15, I hadn't beaten 15, so let's put it that way. I made it the last chapter, and I was like, screw it. I don't want to keep playing. The moment the moment the princess dies, I knew from a long time that she was going to die, and I didn't know it through spoilers. I was just like, yeah, she's going to die. And I had no emotion in it. I was just like, okay, yeah, yeah. And I kind of feel I mean, the voice acting's good, the art is good, the animation is good, all of it looks good, but I feel the story just didn't capture me. And I kind of feel that's way since 9 that's kind of been my problem with Final Fantasy, is the story doesn't really capture me. And right now, some of my friends, in fact, the people I do anime reviews with monthly, we are playing a Final Fantasy game RPG as a group, where we're playing the first Final Fantasy games, and we're playing the Warriors of Light. Um, and I really don't have that much interest in it. I really don't. I enjoy RPGs. I enjoy, playing paper role playing games like that. And I'm playing the wizard slash black mage in the group. Um, being the total asshole because being a wizard, I was like, I'm gonna play, neutral, chaotic, or chaotic neutral as a character, where I just don't give a crap about the world. And even though I'm supposed to be the warrior of light, I really just don't care. Uh, and I think, I mean, that's been sort of. I laugh throughout the game because I constantly keep playing the joke up that we're the Warriors of Light in the series, and we're playing the Warriors of Light. But at the same time, none of us are warriors in class. We've got a monk is our biggest fighter. We have a red mage slash bard that we're playing through that's playing with us. We have me who's playing the wizard, and then we have a thief. So I keep running through the joke whenever it comes up. It's like, oh, well, you are the great warriors of light. I'm like, none of us are warriors. You do know that. It's like, just playing on the joke that if you wanted to play the warriors of light, you needed to have 4 warriors. Um, but, yeah, I mean, I will say Final Fantasy didn't really grip me until 4/2 in America. And even that, I mean, there are points that I dread 4, and I feel it kind of got overplayed a lot, and especially in America. Um, And then 6 came along, and I fell in love with 6. I mean, 6 is my opinion one of the best RPG stories. It's not the best RPGs made, but it is one of the best stories. Um, and I do feel a lot the fact that you have so many characters and each one brings their own element into the story, and that kind of vibe got me. And I don't know why I don't like 9, because 9 sort of is that way, 10 sort of that way, but I just don't get it. I don't care for them as much. And I own 10. I own 10 and 10 too. I kind of own 8. I think I have a copy on my laptop of 8. And I beat 8 complete. I did a completionist with 8. I found a way to cheat in 8 from the beginning that was in-game cheat, where you could spam the first cave. You could spam those balloons and get them all the way up to Fire 3 elements from the get-go. And I would just spam the hell out of them. So I'd go through the game with Fire 3 from the get-go. Um, and I mean, I do like Final Fantasy games, but I do feel like there are better RPGs out there. Tales being one of them. Tales of Symphonia being one of them. Which is why I wanted to do the Tales series. Because it's like they are a great, especially Tales of Symphonia, in my opinion, was a great RPG. And for the GameCube slash PlayStation 2 era, I feel it's probably one of the better RPGs out there. And it was one of the first that did heavy voice acting, heavy animation. I mean, this series, there's no reason why it's not one of the best games on the GameCube, because it's so well done and so well put together. Um, and that's why I was like, oh well, let's when somebody, it's truly by fault. One of the groups on Facebook I was following came up and said, hey, what are the which is the best system? And they left the GameCube off, and I was like, well, why are you leaving the GameCube off? And then I was like, oh yeah, Tales came out on the GameCube, and this was an RPG group, and it's like, why don't why is there no love for the Cube? So it's like, the Cube was one of the most durable systems. That's one of the things I'll give it to. I always remember a review XPlay did when the systems came out, and they tested the durability, and the GameCube still played after being dropped like 50 feet in the air. And they abused the hell out of it. And I mean, I did go through 2 GameCubes because I had one fall underwater from a rain of a hurricane. But I mean, yeah, that's where we were introduced to Animal Crossing for the first time. That's where Harvest Moon really took off, was on the GameCube. Star Fox Adventures, because I'm looking at these titles right in front of me actually, because I still have them, are all popular from that point in the gaming series, from the GameCube. And the GameCube was actually a pretty solid system that people don't respect as much. They go with the 64, they go with Super Nintendo and Nintendo, and I had all 3 of those. I played through them like hell, like everybody else. And then they went to the Wii, but a lot of people diss the GameCube, and I don't get it. I mean, there's legitimate reasons to diss the Wii U. It wasn't a good system, but the Cube, I don't know why there's so much hate for the Cube. It was a great system. It was a portable system, technically, because you could take that thing with you easily and carry it around. I did. I remember when Smash Brawl came out. I took it to the manager I had worked with at the time. We would get together and play video games. I would bring the Cube over, and we'd play Brawl. That was one of the cool things to do. And I mean, that gets into a weird story. I mean, what do you do when someone you work with tells you they had a dream about you? This happened. I was told by this manager. I was working with this manager. I was working in an arts and hobby store at the time. Um, and I think this was probably 2003 ish time. And they told me they had a dream of me, and they kissed me in the dream. And I hadn't come out at this point in my life. I didn't come out for another 5 years. Um, but to be told that from a man who was probably about my age currently to me at age 24, 25, little disturbing. I mean, that job I also got hit on by a flamboyant gay man. Um, and of course, I didn't show any interest because I'm kind of, I had no interest in relationships at that point in time in my life. I even made a joke not too long after that in my comic series at the time called Critical View, which was sort of a offshoot of real life events that are just humorous outtakes of my life. Where I was working, this was after I left the Hungates, which was the arts, craft, and hobby store, um, and started to work for a big named office supply company. I guess I could say it because they don't technically exist anymore. It's Office Max. And I worked as a graphic artist for them. And when I worked there, I got hit on by this woman, and she got upset because I did not understand she was hitting on me. And I was just completely oblivious. And someone, in fact, I think it was my manager directly above me, who was in charge of the printing department. It was basically like, she was trying to hit on you. I was like, what? So I was completely oblivious to romantic relationships from people. Um, at the time, I'm still probably oblivious. If somebody came up and asked me, you have to be very blunt because I really don't get it. That's probably why I'm single. I don't get the relationship game. I really don't. I am dense to that, and I mean, that is probably my fault. I mean, in good way or bad. I have had myself destroyed through a con artist who tried to play on my emotions. So I mean, it also has kind of made me jaded a bit to it. But yeah, I mean, it's a weird situation. I've never kind of got over it. Um, one of the things, let's see, I'm trying to think of some of this other stuff I want to talk about. I mean, it was Halloween, of course. A lot of people watch Halloween content. I don't know if anybody went out trick or treating. I don't know if that's even a thing anymore. I don't get any trick or treaters. Um, like I said last Halloween stream or last stream, we were talking about Halloween. If they came to my door, I would give them something. No one came to my door. Um, not surprised. Uh, but I mean, yeah, I saw some people trick or treating a day early. I saw people going to stores to trick or treat while I was taking care of a dog last week. And so, yeah, I mean, it's not unheard of for me to see them. It's just, I don't know if that's really, if people do the door to door thing anymore. I mean, it's a sad element of childhood that seems kind of be lost. Um, I mean, I saw more people going out on drunken sprawls with trick or treat than kids going out on, on sprawls for trick or treating. So I don't know. I don't know. But as to what I've watched this week, well, Netflix brought Seinfeld back on, so I mean, I want rewatching some of that because it's Seinfeld. It's funny. It's enjoyable. Um, and I don't have regular television, so I've been kind of doing that. I think I remember that comic. Which one? Oh, the comic about me being completely oblivious. Yes, yes. I think I've aired it a few times. Um, Critical View is always a weird sort of venting place, and it derived out of my college newspaper days, where I would work in a college newspaper. Um, that and another comic that was short lived is called Dump Truck, which was political cartoons. I tried to get both of them back up, but I never really got, the audience or the will to do it. But at the same time, Demon Blade was also born in that same time, so that goes to say they're not unheard of to come back. Um, let's see, what else have I been doing this week? I mean, I've been playing the Minecraft game to get through. As we've seen on the stream a bit, we've been doing the Minecraft thing. It's enjoyable. It's a nice little sort of creative event. I've been doing art as best I can, but at the same time, I've been job hunting because it's time to get really serious about my budget and my life because it's been kind of a mess. Of course, the gaming streams will be made way with work situations. I'm still trying to find work. I had a couple interviews, but all of them were for marketing positions. And if you ever work, I don't know if anybody on the stream does work or has worked in a marketing position, they're not good. They're not good. Jobs. They are usually just walk in and walk out the door after you fail to perform the numbers they need. Um, so, I mean, all of them talk a good game, but none of them really perform the way they do. Unless you're the god of marketing, which I am not. I don't talk to people that much. This is a rarity for me to do these streams and chat. I know that feeling. I remember because I was bullied so much. One common prank was to send a girl to act like she was interested in me. Definitely had me jaded. This wasn't a girl. This was a grown woman. She's probably 10 years older than me. Um, she was probably in her late 30s, and I was in my late 20s when she was doing this, and it was just her. There was no one else there. So I think the thing was a lot of people in the jobs would show up in the uniform, the company uniform. But because I was a special position, I had to wear something different. So I wore a suit and tie for the position. And I did the same thing when I was working at the art store, Hungates. I would wear a suit and tie there instead of being in the uniform because I didn't like the idea of wearing this stupid golf shirts. They're dumb. I don't like golf shirts. They usually fade and tear and all that. My last job, I had to wear a golf shirt for work. Um, they're annoying. They're annoying. If you're a company or you own a company, don't make your employees wear golf shirts. They suck. Let them wear whatever, but I mean, tell them if they want to do business professional, they can wear the golf shirts that they want, or if you want a uniformity to it, I mean, have them go in suits and ties or something nicer. But these days, of course, you can wear anything at some of these jobs. I mean, I had the job before that. I mean, it was odd. The job before it, I wore t-shirts and jeans because it was a messy job. And then the job before that, I had to wear business suits. So I mean, it's always a weird situation from job to job. But I don't get the stupid annoying cotton golf shirts. They really don't look good, in my opinion, especially when they're ugly colors. Um, Office Max had, I mean, our department had black and gold, which is a decent color scheme, but my last job, everybody wore their green shirts, and I love green as a color. Uh, Green fades pretty easily. It's you're gonna have a nice looking green for about 2 to 3 wears, and then after you've washed them enough, they're gonna be faded. Um, Let me think of what else. I've started reading a. I don't know if you'd call it a dojin. I don't know what you would call it. I mean, it's not really. It's a manga, but it's a fan made manga, and it's called "My Wife Is a Guy," and it's the regular joke. It's the concept that it's not she. I can't even say it's a she because it's a he all the way through. But I mean, they do wear skirts and they do look feminine, and there's some great jokes where the character just the first issue literally has the character just walk in the bathroom, um, pull up the skirt and go to the bathroom next to the guy in the urinal, and give a smile, and it's regularly that kind of joke. It's just a stupid, sexual joke where the guys get weirded out because the character looks female, but has no interest of being female. Just has that look. And it's just stupid comedy. I'm, of course, reading Komei again, and I'm still reading a Gretzky Triangle. Let's see if I'm reading anything else. I'm trying to think. Not much this week. I've been kind of on and off sick, and part of that is due to med issue. Uh, while I was talking, the thing about my job situation, all of this has come from a health issue, and one of the things that's occurred recently is I've been having difficulty getting meds because I'm in between Medicare coverage or medication coverage, and so I've been off of my anxiety med, particularly as of late. So I've not been sleeping well. So I've literally, I'll sleep 4 hours, go get up, do something, sleep for 2 more hours, and something like that. It'll be on and off throughout the day. Caffeine doesn't help. Nothing helps. I mean, that's the kind of way I feel. My body feels drained. I feel sick all the time. And this is because that's what my anxiety is. I have an on switch and an off switch with my energy. So when my energy is drained, it's drained. Anxiety meds help me keep that in check. Unfortunately, I've been off of it for about a month, and I really feel the drain. And so I mean, I'm trying to get those meds, and it's been frustrating. Um, I've been trying to get other things taken care of, and it's been frustrating. Unrelated, but I meant to ask you if you had a chance to turn Demon Blade into a video game, what genre would it be? I always wanted to do. I mean, it would probably be an action RPG, honestly, if I were to do it properly. But I would not have like minor characters be fighting. I don't know. It's kind of hard to say. I see it as an action RPG. Though I definitely I want to see when you get into a boss fight, sort of like the Final Fight Fantasy or not Final Fantasy, Street Fighter type fights where you'd have to fight your opponent that way. But you could switch out characters and whatnot. Um, but minor boss fights would be, or minor character fights would be, regular action based attacks. So I kind of want a mixed genre if I were to do Demon Blade as a video game. And I mean, I guess there'd also be a little bit of story. Well, I mean, a little bit of story, but I mean, what would you call it? I'm trying to remember the name of the damn thing. What are those? The romantic story games where you just play through, and I don't know why I'm blanking on them. Uh, God, I have not played one in a while. Virtual novel. It'd be a virtual novel also, and elements, where you make choices as to how things go. That's something else that reminds me. And I've been watching videos about it. I started watching High Guardian Spice last weekend. As torture, and yeah, it's not a good show. It is not a good show. Um, it is a horrible representation of trans characters. Sadly, written from a trans character or created from a trans person. But it's a poor representation of trans characters. And the reason that brings it up is because, yeah, I'm main character of Demon Blade is trans. So, I mean, yeah. Given I do use magic to switch Tetsu back and forth to his female form Tetra, but they don't like. I mean, there's still the conflict that needs to be addressed when you're doing trans, and it's one of the things I really. And there are three ways I've seen comics deal with trans characters. And it's why I kind of try and not do with Demon Blade when writing with Tetsu. One is they try to make the character magically transform fully. There's going to be an ongoing struggle throughout the series of Tetsu / Tetra choosing one way or the other and having to go back and forth. So that's not, if you're looking for a quick resolve there, it's not going to be. There'll be elements where it seems like a quick resolve, but things change. And it's because it's an inner conflict with oneself. Another one is where the character just automatically is like, oh, well, I'm fully this way, and I accept it, and you need to accept it or else. Tetsu's not that way. And I mean, I think that really came through in the last chapter a little bit when addressing it with Tetsu facing the school bully with Thad. And there you have a character who is dealing with a trans family member, which is in the case, spoiler if you haven't read the Demon Blade comic yet, Thad's father is trans. And they ended up killing themselves, and Thad kind of blames Tetsu and all trans people for their father's death. Want to turn magical girls sororities into a game, actually saving funds for it. Want to turn it into a tactical RPG, but also a dungeon crawler. That's an interesting one. I can see where that combination mixes works. I mean, it's tactical and a crawler at the same time. It could be done. I could see that. I don't know who you'd be able to get that done with, because I don't know who does tacticals. Virtual novel was idea. Dating sim. Well, yes, virtual novel. Dating sim, virtual novel, sort of the same thing. I mean, there's definitely those elements. I mean, there's RPGs with dating simulation that I played in the past, especially on PlayStation. There was one. I don't even remember the name of it. I remember you were a blacksmith, but you had to befriend and date girls in your team to get better weapons. And you had to play out the dating sim elements to improve your weapons in the game. And I know it was on PlayStation, but I don't remember what it was called because I don't think it was that good of an RPG. Um, I could be wrong. Somebody could be like, "Oh, well, I know what it is." Uh, but it was one of those JRPGs. I picked it up because it had anime looking characters and anime cutscenes. And after having played Tales, I was like, yes, I want to see more of that. And I didn't see much of that in that game. It was kind of annoying. I think it was a little bit on the lines of a Love Hina esque RPG. um, not to say there isn't a Love Hina RPG. I know there's one out there. It's not a very good RPG from what I understand. Uh, and not to diss Love Hina. I mean, I have Love Hina in front of me as well. For those wondering. Uh, I mean, I over the years I have gotten a little different taste of the harem slash dating sim virtual novel scenario. I will say I did get into it on one of the first games that I won a game early in Mix Zine. If you remember Mix Zine, um, I won a game off of them because I was one of their first contest winners, and I won the game called Graduation, um, where you literally play a teacher, you date the girls that you're teaching, and there's like 5 girls, and there is a scenario where you can date all 5 and win all 5. It's not good. It wasn't a good game. It was a bad game. But I got it for free. I got to play it, and I remember it quite well. It was a dating sim, and yeah, yeah, uh, it was junk. Let's put it that way. Most dating sims are kind of junk. I get the Doki Doki Literature Club. I do get the spooky horror from it. I've not played the game. I've watched people play the game. I would go out of my mind trying to play it to get all the lore unlocked because yeah, I know it's a psychological horror game. Um, Maybe I'll put that in the playthrough list in the future with the role playing game or with the games that we're playing. Um, Gonna see what I can find on Fiverr or Upwork. Yeah, I mean it's worth a try. I know I'm on Fiverr. I haven't done. I might even be on Upwork. It's been a long time. I'm on so many sites I don't recall some of them. I am on Fiverr. I need to go through Fiverr and update that, and I actually need to take more part on Fiverr. Um, I mean, would I love to take a job and do art? Yes. I mean, I keep applying. I keep getting rejected too. And that's kind of the territory with the art community. When you get a job, it's difficult sometimes to keep a job in the art community, and it's even harder to get people to really stand out with your work. Now, I do get accreditation. I mean, I got a lot of people saying, hey, we really love your work, but we don't want to hire you because of A or B. And I mean, I got one of those rejection letters this morning from somebody. I honestly don't even remember who. One of the things I've held on to that I prize in my rejection letters is I got a rejection letter from at this. It was literally back to back. I had gotten a rejection letter from Disney Studios and I got a rejection letter from Playboy. So I got them from back to back. Disney was cruel with their rejection letter. They're like, well, you don't meet anything that we're looking for at this time. We don't even want to talk to you. Blah, 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 blah. That kind of stuff. Playboy was nice. They're like, yes, you have some good work. We would be interested to probably speak with you again in the future. But at this time, we are going with someone else with a little bit more experience. So Playboy was all nice and reassuring with their work. Disney was total assholes to me. Not that I'm jaded. Disney's a good company, and I understand it was a long shot with me with Disney, but yeah, I've never reapplied to Disney since. This was, of course, back in the late 90s. Back when the concept of Disney was starting to dwindle from its 90s upshoot, and it was a question on whether or not where the next direction would go with the company. Pixar was just getting started, but at the same time, Pixar was basically, Disney didn't see a future with Pixar at the time, and so yeah, that was the whole thing as I was trying to get into the companies. I had an in with LucasArts at the time, but that didn't pan through. And that was because I met one of the guys from one of the directors from Monkey Island series. But they had ended the Monkey Island series at that time. Plus, I did not meet LucasArts once. It wanted I don't know if, well, they don't exist anymore. So, technically. They wanted somebody who does a realistic, artistic style. And I was more cartoony. I still am kind of more cartoony in my styles. And I mean, actually, that brings up a good concept. I met somebody where what was it? I heard somebody do this actually this weekend, not this week. There was a talk about modern art versus traditional artists. I'm gonna say, okay. And one of the things that came up, and this kind of reminded me of a teacher I had in college. I had a teacher, one of my figure studying teachers that I learned from, that he was a professional modern artist. And at one point in our drawing sessions, he literally picked up a piece of paper off the ground that was just laying on the ground from us doing charcoal drawings where feet prints were all over the thing and whatnot. And he picked it up and he decided to make that an art piece. That was his art piece. Yet at the same time, he gave me shit about anime and art. And now I'm kind of seeing this, and it's kind of odd because I am seeing an uptick in my work, an uptick in views and whatnot. People are starting to finally call out modern art. And I'm kind of glad because modern art is literally, it's a scam. It's been a scam for years for people to see. Those who don't know the concept of the Dadaist, particularly the urinal, the infamous signed urinal. I think it's Kandinsky that did that. That was meant to piss off modern artists. That was literally, I'm going to rip this thing off the wall and put it in a museum and see if people are stupid enough to buy it. And people were stupid enough to buy it. People were stupid enough to continue to buy that kind of crap. And that's what modern art is. There is some that claim to have deeper meaning. There's not deeper meaning. I do have respect for people like Pollock a little bit with their technique and whatnot. But modern art is an ongoing scam for most artists. And this was brought up with a woman who does body paint and makes money off of doing body paint drawing or body paints. And she's literally just, if you watch the videos, she's literally just sort of rolling around on the ground in her underwear. And she's selling the videos on top of the art. And no wonder why she's making money. I mean, she's a good looking woman rolling around in her underwear in paint. I mean, people will pay to see that. Now the art, I don't get it. You're not going to get me on that. And then there's the whole mess currently with the Hunter Biden art. And I'm not going to get political in it, but that stuff's crap. Let's see. I think it's blue jeans. Let's put the bring the color character up. Okay, lighter blue jean. So let's go with that color blue jean. I see it sort of matches their jacket. We're actually getting pretty fast into this, so I might do something else on top of this to do the 2-hour time stream. But yeah, I mean, basically that's been my week this week. I've been doing a lot of job hunting to try and get jobs set up. I've also had a couple other things I've had to take care of. And I've been just exhausted because of my medication, because my sleep schedule's so off. Most of the time I've been able to concentrate on some things. But yeah, I mean, I'm behind on your work, Justin. I've got a lot of work to get to on there. I've got my own work that I'm kind of behind on. And a lot of it is I'm just physically out. And I really hope to. I mean, I hope to get back to the energy. I know when I get the medication back in me, it will help a lot. Don't diss the power of medication, folks. When you find the right meds, stay on them if you're on medication. But definitely get your doctor's approval on stuff. I definitely found the right combination with my antidepressant and my anti-anxiety. They help a lot. But going on, let's see here. I still haven't watched Squid Game. I really need to. I know a lot of people love it. Um, Kind of been doing some Netflix as of late. I did catch up to the Jobless Reincarnation in Another World, or whatever it's called. The Rudius anime. I did catch up to that today. Mainly because I'd watched it all last time it was, or last season it was on, or whatever. And I was like, well, let me keep watching it. I don't know why I'm keep watching it, because it's not the most thrilling of anime. It's kind of like a slow burn anime. But I mean, something still kind of clicks with me to watch it, I guess. I mean, it is the real first isekai out there. For those who didn't know, I mean, it's the first light novel that really goes into isekai world. It came out before Sword Art Online as a light novel, but the animes just finally started getting released. I think it was last year was when it started. So I am a bit curious with it, but at the same time, it is lewd, and it's a bit obnoxiously lewd at points. But I mean, I can't put it past them. I know I need to get to watching the anime on our anime watch list, which is, I think, Penguin Masamune. So I need to get onto that on my list. Um, I know, the gosh, what is it? Crap, I'm burning out on it. I think the Demon Hunter series is started back up, but they're doing a re-release of Mugen Train or Demon Slayer. Okay, yeah, Demon Slayer. They're doing the Mugen Train story arc again, which I have watched the movie, so it's a little bit kind of redundant to rewatch. But that is on my list to watch tonight after the stream, as I do some work. So I am kind of curious on how the television show will treat it, but considering it's the same animators, same animation staff, I don't get why. I mean, I guess I get that they wanted to do it so they'd cover the story in the show instead of just the movie, but I mean, the movie was really popular. Uh, so I don't get why you would bother and not just go ahead to the next arc. But I mean, they're trying to milk it as much as they can, I guess. That's what it comes down to. Um, so I mean, it's on my list to watch. I know a lot of people that are getting out of anime that I kindly watch. I mean, I find it amusing. I watch the Trash Taste guys, and they made fun of the fact that they were talking anime this past week, on this week's release, because they're quote an anime podcast, but they're not watching anime or they're not discussing anime. So I do find the humor in there, but I also do see a lot of people kind of not getting into anime, and I think it's because it's been not great anime series as of late coming out. I'm going to use the Noctis I have to draw from for colors. But, yeah, I mean, I'd like to see something good come out of some of these seasons. I haven't really heard anybody talk about the Demon Slayer series this season. I haven't heard much about anything actually this season from people. I know I've heard about Comey, and that's about it. And I keep hearing rave concepts about Chainsaw Man, but that hadn't aired yet. We finally got a release for a video release for the upcoming release of Spy Family, which is a great manga series, also from Shonen Jump. That I do want to see. It should be a bit, for those who don't know, Spy Family is literally about a spy who needs to take on this persona of being a family man. And so he basically hires a family. And so he hires this girl to be his wife. He hires this little girl to be his daughter, or adopts this little girl to be his daughter. And it's about this family that go around and they just try to live a normal life / spy life at the same time. And it's kind of amusing. I mean, it's a little bit comedy, a little bit serious. I really need to do the hair some more. The hair does not look right. All right, we're going to fix the hair as best we can. And that's black, so we're going to work on Noctis's hair. Anime hair is annoying to draw. If ever you have to draw anime hair, especially when it's something like this, where it's all over the place. His hair's messy. They do convey that well. His hair is in fact messy, but it's annoying to draw. And given the person making this request has made a couple of requests of Final Fantasy, particularly Noctis. So I've drawn Noctis a lot, but at the same time, it never gets easier to draw Noctis. Um, the same is kind of said for Sasuke. If I were to draw Naruto, Sasuke's kind of got that stupid anime hair. The ducktail, as it was called there, and Noctis has sort of got the Sasuke ducktail. Gray has a little bit of it, and Fairy Tail as well. Um, so I'm not a big fan of drawing Gray either, because of that stupid hair. It doesn't look right either. And I'm going to blank his face, or at least his smile, or frown in this case. I honestly do not recall having played the game. It's been a while. I don't recall Noctis ever smiling. I don't think he smiles at all in the game. I mean, it's probably great for the animator or the capture artist. Be like, oh, well, we don't have to capture him smiling. To be fair, Cloud doesn't smile either in the remake. So I mean, it's not like, maybe it's the protagonists don't smile concept. I mean, I can't say much. I mean, Tetsu doesn't smile that much, so. But I at least make it a thing that Tetsu doesn't smile for a reason, so. Noctis is. I think that comes down to it. I really. I didn't play Final Fantasy 13, so I can't say anything about 13. All I can say is the game itself did not look interesting to me, so I didn't pick it up. But I think why I don't like 15 is there's no female protagonist that I can like in there. Because you don't really get, I forget her full name, the Lucia, whatever name. I think the young girl in the schoolgirl outfit was probably the only one that I kind of liked. And I don't even remember her name. And I found most of the game, I mean, they had good personalities as main characters, but I really did not care for Noctis. Noctis just kind of grated me as a character. I just felt like he was another Sasuke clone, where I don't want to like this character. And I think that's what really made that game annoying to me. Is I don't like Sasuke as a character. I don't like Noctis as a character in that sense. The brooding, I'm going to be this dark brood. It's great for a side character. It sucks for a main character. C6 did it right. We didn't have a brooding main character. We did have some brooding. And it depending on which point in the timeline you determine your main character to be, both of them are female. So I mean, you'd have Tetra or Tila be your female protagonist at the beginning of the game, and she was Tella or whatever. I keep forgetting how her name's done. Um, Tara, that's it, Tara. Um, you have her, and she doesn't remember her life, but she's not a brooding character. She's just a blank slate that learns and becomes more human as she becomes a character. Through the story, she's not hateful or spiteful. She's just like, I don't know what this is. I'm unfamiliar with this life, and it's a good introduction to a character from the get go. And then in the second half, you have Celis, who is the general who's doesn't believes the world is just screwed and has to find a way to carry on. And so, in a way, that was a good concept. And you had dark brooding character with Shadow, and Shadow is a good character. He just sat in the background for the most part. You did get a little bit of his backstory, but you didn't get much, and you only got glimpses of it. And it was mainly like, I'm going to sit back here and deal with a girl who befriended my dog. Ugh, ugh. I used to be someone who actually cared and lost his family, and now is brooding. So I mean, that Shadow was a good version of the brood that I feel worked. I just feel Sasuke needed to be slapped. So I mean, going back to Naruto concept, Sasuke needed to get his ass slapped. I'm kind of glad his brother was that character to do it, but I feel like he didn't do enough smacking down his brother to do it. But at the same time, it's kind of like a stupid plan to begin with, to kill all of them because they're a threat to the possible future of the village. Um, but I mean, there are other. And Noctis, I'm trying to remember what Noctis. I mean, all I remember about Noctis was the damn scenes as him as a kid sitting there just being like, yeah, I'm here. Yeah, uh, I'm with the princess. Yeah, and it just didn't make me feel very like him a lot. Even when he was with the group, he'd be like, yeah, I'm here, and we're going to, yeah. He kind of felt just annoying to me in that sense. Is it white on the tongue, or is it? All right, the tongue is white. Candy corn shoes, basically. Going back to Halloween stuff. I did have my annual candy corn, so I've eaten my candy corn fill for the year. I don't hate candy corn. I mean, it's an okay candy. It's not crap. A lot of people hate on candy corn. A lot of people hate on black licorice. I enjoy both. Um, Maybe I'm weird. I mean, I enjoy Brussels sprouts, and a lot of people hate on that. And I enjoyed them before they became the popular thing to eat these days. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised in a year or so that they start making lima beans the go-to gourmet food, because people hate those, and I kind of like them. I like their cruddy. I mean, given you gotta butter lima beans to be of any good use. If there's another way to cook a lima beans, I'd love to know. Um, but you gotta boil them and put them in butter and make them palatable. But who doesn't love just butter on stuff? Um, let's see here. But yeah, like going back to the beginning of the stream, I am gonna probably start doing some pop up art streams. Be like, oh well, today we're gonna do another extra art stream. Um, I feel like I'm just gonna pop in, do some art, and do them live. So I mean, that's something you're gonna start seeing from me. I'm not gonna schedule them because I don't want to put another stream on the schedule. Um, especially when likely the gaming streams are going to be, they're not going to be cut, but they'll be changed times, and they'll definitely cut down in time if I get a job or when I get a job, because I'll have to focus on the job front and I won't be able to do them all the time. They'll probably just be basically restricted to a amount per week. Oddly enough, the Tails game was actually quite popular with the Twitch streams, as far as my Twitch numbers have been. I'm not saying that by far we're at any point to get sponsorship or anything. It's just, it did better than most of the games that we've played so far. Will that continue? I don't know. I don't know. Story streams right now tend to be the worst publishing or viewed in general. Will that end the story streams? I don't know yet. The content definitely, I mean, if there's no audience, I definitely should probably remove the content. Or not keep doing the content. But who knows? I mean, for right now, we're going to keep them going. They do have some audience. And they're an easy stream to do. And it's just me reading. And of course, these art streams have like-hate relationship. Some people like some of them, some people don't. There are some of the bigger streams on YouTube, so that's why I kind of want to do some more on YouTube with the art streams. We'll probably do some more with gaming streams for Twitch if we get more audience with that. With games that Twitch would like to see. Of course, Twitch tends to be the favorite for gaming. YouTube tends to be better for the art. And I'm not doing this. I mean, some people may ask, is like, oh, you're doing this to get money or to get crowdfunded. I mean, it'd be nice, but this is not a job. I'm not doing this for a job. If it turns out to be a job, then sure, I'll take it. But I mean, this is a stream for basically just to get people to know me, to do some work, and also to sort of fill the role that a couple of different roles, particularly this stream. A lot of people for years have been asking me to do streams, and they wanted to do art streams. So this is the art stream. And we've also, this gives me a chance to fill, a lot of people want requests done. So this is the chance to do requests. So that's what we're doing here. I mean, this is the way to fill requests. I know a lot of people still come at me for requests and they're like, oh, well, I want a comic done. And it's like, no. that you got to pay for. I'm sorry. That does take time. That takes a lot of time to put together. I can't do that on a 2-hour stream like this. Um, it's just not possible. If it were, I'd be making a lot more money, but I'm not. Um, Other things to bring up, I mean, up until this point, I haven't had a name for the VTuber. We've been going by, in fact, she's gotten a little bit of popularity through the Vroid Studios this week because we uploaded this current version onto Vroid Studios, a hub, and people can actually download this version. They can do some edits and whatnot. And because, yeah, I've done some physical edits with her and her outfit originally made. And I wanted to try and bring this out. And she's kind of liked, but she doesn't have a name. So if you guys have an idea for a name for her, I mean, she is based off myself. So right now I kind of just call her Brittany too. And I mean, we don't have a name for her. We don't have a lore for her. We don't have any of that. I'm kind of doing this as an alternate to the camera instead, so I don't have to do makeup and all that stuff each stream. But also, I mean, because it's a lot cuter to watch her over me, honestly. I'm not saying I'm not cute, but I am saying that she's better looking. Maybe I'll let people make up a name for her in the future or a lore. We can come up with something. And that probably would be something fun to do. I do kind of want to put the panda hat on her, but I've not been able to figure out how to do hats yet. If those of you seen my live streams or seen me with the live stream, I do own a panda hat. When I draw myself in comics, particularly when I draw myself in the background in Demon Blade, I have a panda hat on. So yeah, I'd probably put that on if I could get it to work, but I can't right now. I do regret that Vroid does not have the selection they have on their mobile, on their home version, their desktop version, with clothing. And I'm still waiting to see because they've just updated this, and that's kind of why we updated the model. I'm waiting to see if the model can be changed in a new way. And by that, I mean new clothing done out of the system and brought back in. That used to be the thing when we could do in the old version, but they kind of updated it, and it's kind of difficult now. So I'm gonna have to learn it all over again. But yeah, if you have an idea of a backstory or character name for her, let me know. I'd love to hear it. Or should I just keep going by it's my alternate personality? I mean, it's an easy way. I could do the animated version that people do on some videos and whatnot. But I don't do videos I just do the live streams because I don't have a good editing software. I have the generic software that is included with the computer. So it's part of the reason why you don't see me do videos right now. I do know some decent software. I just don't have software that I really would appreciate using. And I am a trained person in video editing. I just don't do it. Let's give him his pretty boy lips, actually. Let's deal with his mouth again. I don't like the way the mouth is. So let's give him his pretty boy lips. First, we gotta shrink that G pen. Nope, nope, nope. Shrink the G pen because it's a little too big. I kind of get why they go with the brooding character. It all comes down to Final Fantasy VIII and the using of the model Gact. And I mean, it's not a Gact is a real person. For those who don't know, he is a Japanese idol. He was used for Leon in Final Fantasy VIII. And that's sort of almost the reason or the point when the brooding sort of emo-esque character came to be in Final Fantasy. The big thing was 8. I don't like the girly lips that I put on him. He does have. I mean, Gact pretty much is that kind of personality. I mean, he was popular in the 90s. In the 90s, is all about the brood. All about the let's go and be emo and brood and brr. And we kind of get that with characters, superheroes particularly, of the 90s movies, where they're all broody and angsty. And I mean, we also get that a little bit with Harry Potter, as the joke with the Puppet Pals was, I'm angsty. And the idea has always been, sort of since then, that most characters need to be angsty and brood. All right, I see a problem that I'm really not liking. Okay. I think I see what the problem is with the lips. And it's, I think, the chin, honestly. We're going to try and fix that. So, the chin really should go right here. So that's our main problem here. Like I said, I tried to watch High Guardian Spice. I probably will finish the damn series. If you want me to kind of review it in the art pop-ups, I don't know what I even going to call it. I might just call it art pop-ups. Pop quiz or something. Artist pop quiz or something like that. If you want me to kind of discuss it and sort of do reviews while I'm doing those, I mean, that'd be fine. I will say that High Guardian Spice will not get a high rating from me. It is bad in multiple levels, and yes, the fact that you use Shutterstock stock images would have to be brought up. That looks a bit better. If you're gonna use a stock image, and I'm one of the few artists out there who will, when they give advice, always tell people to use references. I've done it before in the streams here. I tell people, hey, use references. Shutterstock is a good place for references. Yes. Edit your references, folks. Don't just put a reference in a piece of animation. Don't just leave, go, oh, well, I need to put a image in the background. Let me just put this here and fill the background. Don't do that. It is bad. It looks bad in animation. You look cheap. You need to redraw it, honestly. You take the image, you redraw the image. You don't use the stock image, especially in animation. It just is bad. Other news to kind of bring up, Chris Pratt as Garfield. Yeah, I'm with the rest of the people. I don't get it. I don't see him as Garfield. I really don't. But then I grew up with the voice of Garfield always being lazy and slow. So I mean, I didn't get Bill Murray as Garfield, and Bill Murray played off Garfield, and so I understand it, but I just don't get it. I'm gonna add a layer, and I'm gonna color over it, but I'm gonna freaking lower it, and then I'm gonna go over that. So now he has his lips. They're not as girly, even though they are girly on him. Does he have a chin? He has a chin. Okay, so we need to make sure we establish his chin. That's on the wrong layer. Okay, let's do that here. Okay. Let's remove our sketches. And, well, we're done as far as this scene is. So yeah, as I said, this is a masking. We'll do another masking next week, apparently. Next week we deal with Sailor Moon and another character. I don't remember. I think it's Nanohana. So we have two anime characters dressing up as each other. I've done a lot of drawing of Sailor Moon, so I'm kind of used to her. But Nanohana will be something new for me, I think. I'll have to look up the character specifically as I do it. But yeah, I mean, if you, as always, I'll go through and say it. If you have a request for art, please, leave a comment, like, comment, and subscribe as always. But we're going to do some more here because we fill out our 2-hour session as always. But I do have to state we are towards the end of February with the request limit right now. There's no real limit to it, but I mean, if you put in a request, just know we won't get it to it until about February to March at this time. Because this is a once a week thing. I will probably, hopefully, take some of these and do some of them on the art pop-up series. That we come in and do some art for a bit. Just to kill some of the list down, bring it down so we get people getting some new stuff faster. But, I mean, this is what we deal with. So, I mean, we got a character here. We got a drawing. And we got our Noctis bit here. So, I mean, what can we do? We can do some background work for it if we want. I'm not feeling it, and a lot of these stream characters I've not been doing backgrounds. The character that they drew or they had a reference for, it's a very simple background. We'll add a shadow. So I mean that's something we'll do. We'll add a shadow. So when doing a shadow, you just go underneath the character, do a layer under it. Just grab your pen, do something solid that looks kind of like the character from a blow, and then just lower the transparency. There's the shadow. We could add a line if we wanted to add more in the background. We could do a line here. We'll do a little bit of the color scheme they did here. So we'll do the gray for the floor. And the purple for the background. And we'll do some shading, real quick shading work here. Nothing too severe. So for this, we're just going to grab, where's my airbrush? There it is. We're just going to grab a soft airbrush, bring it up to its largest setting, and we're going to take this purple that we already have, and we're just going to go with a lighter version, and we're just going to lightly brush to bring in a little bit of a color to the scene. And then we'll do it again. We'll do another lighter shade. So we'll take the shade, bring it up a lighter again, and we're just going to real quickly brush across. Nothing too fancy, just a quick thing. And if we wanted to do something similar with a darker tone, we'll grab that. And this, we'll say during the floor, we want it to be a little bit of a dark area. So we'll go darker. And we'll just go along the line here. Then kind of reverse it with the gray. So we want to grab the gray. Since it's a yellow gray, we want to kind of go down, stay in this sort of same color pattern of that yellowish gray, and we want to go down the gray pattern, and we're just going to do a shadow on the floor right at the crease. And then lighter version of the gray for the foreground. There you go. Yeah, just simple, quick color scheme background. You don't need to do too much. Just something simple you can put together. So we've got our character, we've got our drawing done. Well, I mean, we could do some hair on the mask, I guess. We could do some highlights with the hair. We've already did some of the shadow. So let's do some of the hair here. Nope. On the mask. There we go. There we go. The character has this light highlight. We're going to kind of do it differently than they went about doing it. So we're just going to do, oh, hold on, wrong layer. We just want to kind of do a little, give it a little bit of a texture. And I'm actually going to do well, there's kind of a dark tone here, so we'll work it in there. But I don't like that. It's not fitting of that color. So let's go in the color scheme. So let's go down at shading color. There we go. Add just a little bit of shadow where it would be, because we don't have a light source going up, Maybe we'll have to do a light source at one point on the floor to show what people what an upward light source is. Let's do a little bit with the controller here, make it stand out. With this, I kind of wanted to treat it as a plastic, so we kind of want to go with a watercolor. We go a little bit. And we'll go with the purple here, darker. Don't want it kind of blend in with the background too much. Because if it blends into the background too much, it's going to be hard to read. Purple PS controller, PlayStation controller. I mean, I guess they exist. There we go. Character is done. Let's see here. We'll save it. And see, that's the other comic. Let's pull up a little bit of Demon Blade here. Now, I wanted to show sort of, in fact, I'll pull it up over here, an idea of what I'm bringing up, why that you don't want the characters to sort of blend. I kind of did a character where I had to do a white outline on this latest page. So, yeah, for those who don't know, yes, they are fighting an embodiment of Hitler in Demon Blade right now. Magical girl Hitler. And she has this white outline throughout here. So if I took that white outline out, let's see if I can. Yeah, she gets lost. So if I take the white outline out, she gets lost. If I put the white outline in, she gets found a little bit easier. So she doesn't get blended in too much with the background there. That is one of the reasons why you got to do tricks, especially with black and white. You need to do an outline. With black, white, gray. In the case of Demon Blade, that's something that has to be done. But, I mean, a good example, let's see, let me pull up the script. You guys get to see the script early of Demon Blade here. Let me see if I can pull up the layers. Did I remove the script completely? I shouldn't have. Let me... There it is. Okay. I don't know why it's... Oh, that wasn't the Demon Blade. Okay, I got you. This is the script I usually go to work with. So, I mean, some of this gets changed over time, even still with this phase. So I'll work out a character situation when I want to do something. So in this case, I've already had this. We have a magical Hitler that was addressed on the other page. It's only temporary life. So, I mean, this is more important at this point. So this can be removed story-wise because this is already addressed. Some kind of weakness or something. I don't know if I addressed this earlier when they talked about it. So I think it was addressed here on 14, which is technically actually 12 of the series. No, I didn't. Maybe it was on page 13. So the key here is, especially in a comic series, you don't want to continuously repeat yourself over and over and over again. But let's see. Shikigami aren't a big threat. Are you looking to destroy the world? No, they don't talk about how to destroy them. So we do need to talk about that, how they'd get destroyed. because they are the big bad of this chapter. Um, they're a stupid big bad, but they're big bad. Um, uh, Basically, when we were talking earlier about the comics or about bringing Demon Blade, if I brought Demon Blade through as a comic, yeah, that would be a silly, stupid minor enemy. This wouldn't even be a final boss battle. This would just be a stupid minor enemy along the story. Um, there are more major threats in the series. Um, this is kind of a jokey chapter that I'm working on, and the next chapter is more story driven. There's no real action in the next chapter at all for me to draw. So I wanted to have an action chapter before I do a very wordy chapter and then have several action chapters. The chapter that this art that you're seeing in the background that is from, gosh, I think 2007. So let me actually open that up in here. See, promo art. I can bring up the. I'll bring up the spoiler version here, because it's a bit changed over the years. This came out, I think, in 2018. But yeah, I mean, it's very much a story element between Kyle and Tetra, or Tetsu, rediscovering each other as these former childhood lovers, which we've touched upon in chapter 5, chapter 6, and chapter 7 of the comic. So I mean, it's this current story arc has the two of them finally get reunited and remembering. Well, Kyle remember who really is the mystery girl that he loves. There's a brief moment of memory lapse for Kyle, but he will recall that he did in fact rediscover who she is, and that he doesn't care. He flat out just doesn't care. He's in love, and he doesn't care about it. It's something. It's an element to tell a story. Whereas in a newer story here, we just have two silly robots being silly and having their fun way. But we're going to do a little bit of a quick sketch here for Demon Blade. So we have the story. So I'm going to do a quick layout sketch of how I would start the story out. And you guys get to see this or as an early preview. So it's only temporary life, and likely he's possessing someone with magic, fade, and fall apart eventually. So we want to have Ino sort of doing her discussion, her explanation in the scene. We don't have some. Do they have some kind of weakness? So Tetra's asking if they have weakness, and Ino's discussing this. So, and Tetra comes up with the idea of how to fight back against them pretty quickly because she's intelligent, and that's the way the character's written. So, in drawing this, I would have more than likely a scene here with Ino discussing things, probably her arms crossed. I think her arms were crossed in the last scene. No, her arms were at her side. Okay, Tetra's arms were crossed. So we'll have Ino probably with an arm out explaining something. And Tetra standing against her inside, still having her arms crossed. Mai probably doing something stupid, because it's Mai. Let's see, they go on about it. Tetra comes up with the idea, so probably do something like one of these sort of thinking shots for Tetra, which I kind of do a lot of. So we'll do a little scene here. Might do a my joke here somewhere. Since she's floating, she's always right by Tetra at all times. And crap. Let's see. You want me to do it? Okay, so the other half is got to be affirming Eno. So Eno's got to have her surprise reaction. So we're going to do something like this. Kind of surprise reaction. It doesn't need to be something fancy. When you're doing something like this, you just need to be crude and get the idea across for you, because you're the one doing it. If you have assistance, like if you're in a manga series or a comic series and you have somebody else picking up the work as well, or you're in a team, then you're probably going to put a little more detail into it. I might do something like, here's Tetra's hair. So that's Tetra's got this sort of hair that goes back. Eno's hair is short and it goes into ponytails. On the side, Mai, of course, always has her distinctive ponytail. And her ears and sideburns. And then Tetra comforting Eno as best she can. Because this is a very Eno story. It's one of the reasons why I also wanted to do this, is I wanted to give Eno some time to shine. She doesn't really get much time between this chapter 4 and 5 when she was, or 3 and 4 when she was introduced, and then all the way until the Christmas story, which is chapter 15 or 16. So she kind of gets ignored for a little bit as a side character. And so I want to kind of have this story in here. I had 2 stories written and I cut one of them off. The one I cut off was similar in the same way, where it was an Eno being shy and needing confidence. So I was like, these two are too similar, so I'm gonna bring it down to one. And I wanted this one over the other one because this one introduces Tetra as well. So it's like, well, let me do this Shinigami story where they fight a Shinigami. The other story I might do one point on the reading stream was where they go and fight a ghost of a mobster in the club as part of the ghost hunting team that they are. And it's not that great of a story, honestly. It's kind of a rough one. And it had its point. But if I were to rewrite it, I might be able to do something better with it. And it's how you play the game. I just feel like I don't want to go through 2 fillers and then get to the very talkative 9th story or 9th chapter, which is the backstory of Ruth and Kaji. Kaji being the sword maker of the series. You do get a little bit of action, I think, probably from Yoku, but it's a little bit of the backstory to tease the later backstory of this arc, which is a my specific arc. This is there is elements for Tetra and Kyle, as this image in the background of the video today shows, but most of the action is going to actually be around my story. So while this chapter has very little my being active, she will be active in the end of this chapter. And the next story, she has to deal with the fact that one of the people that destroyed her life is now before her. So that's what that chapter is about. And then the next 2 chapters after that, or the next 4 chapters after that, are the homecoming story. that kind of starts out with the football game, because it's homecoming game. You have the football, you have the dance, as your typical homecoming would be in real life. Um, and it's a way of me to parodize, or put in a little bit of parody of the going back to High Guardian Spice and those kind of anime or cartoons. The prom. To parody the idea of the prom. Homecoming horror is it takes place at homecoming. There's an actual fight at homecoming. It's not oh well, let's have a good time at the homecoming dance. Let's have this romantic moment. I mean, there is that romantic moment that does occur there, but it's more about the fight that builds up with Yoku. It's really the introduction of the villain of one of the major villains of the series in a proper way. We got a taste of it in chapter 1, and we'll get a full taste of it in the final or in the middle two of the chapters. Let's see, be chapter 9, be chapter end of chapter 11 and chapter 12. So chapter 13 is backstory of Mai and Yoku. And we'll go into the details of the blade that have not been seen fully in the past. If you've read the past series, you kind of know a little bit of Mai's backstory with her and Yoku, what they meant to each other, and how the heart was gotten. And it's going to be a lot bloodier, and I'm going to have to do some period drawing in the flashback there. A lot of samurai movies I'm going to have to watch and use for inspiration. But I mean, basically, you got to have references. I mean, it'll be going into the 40 samurai, the 40 Ronin in that story. So I mean, we've touched upon it a bit in the series at that point, but it will be a little bit more touched upon. So I mean, one of the things I do want to put here is Tetra saying this, and Mai's going to be smiling and nodding behind. So we want to make sure we have Tetra featured here, and then we want to make sure Mai is seen behind her. Because basically, each personality, each person has their own issues with things. Tetra's not confident in her, or has let her past sort of destroy her willingness and let her other people decide what she wants to do in her life. She's unwilling to be her own self. Mai is very much a person who is unwilling to let go of the hate she has from the past, those that have damaged her and those that have hurt her. And Ino is very shy and reluctant to be a bigger and better person that she can be. And so you're going to see that especially develop at the start of this page. Ino, the whole Ino becoming or wanting to be a cheerleader is so she can break out of her shell. Her attempt to break out of her shell. And she just doesn't have confidence in herself. And a lot of that is her abandonment, being rejected as a child. Kyle's fear is being left alone, not being wanted by anybody. And Roos is Roos/Kaji is the being. No worries, I know you're doing your best. Yes, thank you. Ruth and Kaji's is basically having the world destroyed around them, having everything that they hold dear taken from them. So I mean, to know those elements is important. Lori is another one. Those who don't know who Lori is. We discussed her in the uh, live talk of the chapters. We did her 2 chapters. Lori is a child of abuse who committed suicide. So in her case, it's being, not only unwanted, but being treated poorly. And so the friendship she builds with Tetra, the friendship she builds with Eno, she doesn't really build a relationship too much with Mai. The two of them are kind of, they're not at ends. Mai gets at ends with another character I've yet to introduce. But Lori's kind of personality is a happy-go-lucky personality when she becomes friends. But yeah, she feels abandonment issues as well. So I mean, each character, when I write them, I want to create that background story for how they feel, how they react emotionally, and I try to put that in the scenes while I draw them. Um, that's why I wanted to have Tetra slash Tetsu is going to constantly reject and have issues with the transformation of being able to permanently become female. She has issues that she has to deal with. She has to confront. Um, and until then, she can't accept her happiness in a way. Same with each of them. Mai has to let go of her anger. Eno has to let go of her reservations and be a bigger person. Kyle has to accept he may not be able to have what he wants in life, his love, or his career as a musician. Ruth has to accept that she may lose people. Each character has those elements that they have to overcome. And when you're writing a story, you need that to be part of your character development. And it shows. And going back to the High Guardian Spice, it doesn't show in that series. It's what really hurts is you don't really get what these characters are there for. And it's I'll save it for a review of the series. I'll do a review of the series. Um or something. We'll do it in the future. But when you create a series, when you create a character, you create a comic, keep that in mind. When I go into these new characters, these new comics, while it's more of a comedy, some of the characters, like these 2 characters, I'll use them as an example. Robitch, who's this witch wearing purple character, she loves to battle. She loves to fight. She lives. She's a defensive programmed robot. That is all she really knows, and she's going to have to learn peace. She's going to have to learn to accept someone who doesn't want to fight. Um, in the series, uh, Jacket, which is the name of the other one, the official name of the other one, Jacket, a combination of Jack Jack o' Lantern and robot Jacket, uh, has a love for basically biology, understanding creatures, and manipulating them. So, and mutating them. So he's having a moment here where he's wanting to the idea of being able to take specimens from the planet and use them to his means and alternate them. He has to learn that even though he's a machine himself, he can't play God. He can't be the end all manipulator. And we got to do it in humorous ways. So I mean, it is a challenge. When I write them, I need to make sure they're comedic, but they're also satire of real life situations that people can see. Another character in the series is going to be someone who's had no one really accept them as family. I watched Dr. Stone. I really liked it. Just out of all episodes, I need to find the manga. Yeah, Dr. Stone, the anime kind of only really covered the first season or the first few chapters. Um, the next storyline is decent. After that, it kind of goes downhill. Check out the Shonen Jump app. You can get all of it. You can read all of it for $2 a month. It is worth it. I do like the Doctor Stone, and the artwork's amazing. The artist behind Doctor Stone does amazing artwork. But yeah, I do feel the story is kind of lacking these days. It is on the end legs of the story. It is ending. You can tell it's ending, but I do feel they kind of wrote themselves in a corner at a certain point, and now they've kind of just been rushing that story to end. Um, but that's kind of it. I'll go back to our artwork for the day. This is what we accomplished as far as the art. We also did a little bit of storyboarding here for Demon Blade, so you guys get to see how a storyboard gets to be put together. I might do, like I said, I might do some comic stuff during this art pop-up stream. It's something I know a lot of people have been requesting. So people will be able to see how I go through and do a comic page and stuff like that. I know I promised one at least for the Embry Arts live stream, which will be on the 10th. Right now, it's at least December 10th, not this 10th, not November 10th, December 10th. So it'll be a month from now, basically now. That'll be probably a 12-hour stream. We did a 6-hour stream Friday. That'll probably be a 12-hour stream. I don't know if I can do a 12-hour stream, but we will certainly try. But it is time to call it. We've done our 2 hours of streaming today. I hope everyone enjoys the artwork we've done today. As always, I do want to thank people for joining in. And in fact, today, I want to thank Justin of Cooking Dojo here, who's been joining in chat today and talking with us. As always, come in and join in the chats. Leave a comment, like, and subscribe. And we will be doing another issue of 11 Kingdoms story on Thursday, and we'll be doing more Tales of Symphonia and Minecraft this week. I'm still trying to see if I'll get another game going, because I do want to have 3 at a time on each different days, but we might just do more Tales of Symphonia this week than Minecraft, just to get through some of the story, because it is a long game. It may not seem like a long game, but we have only gotten to 1 temple out of 4 in this world, and we have to get through them multiple times, as well as multiple other dungeons. So it's going to be a long game. Until then, let's get on over to our sponsor for the stream. And that is Built Bar. Hold on, let me get moved here for a second. I guess there's no real place to go. Here, let's do this. You guys can. I'll give the people who love feet a chance to see the feet. All right, Built Bar. I absolutely love Built Bars. Like I said last week, they have currently a mystery flavor contest going on with them. They are absolutely delicious. They are great candy bar replacement. But they are foremost a protein bar. They are made to taste like the thing that they advertise. So they focus on taste first. They absolutely are delicious. So we've got the mint chocolate brownie on the lower right-hand corner there of the image, and up top we have, I believe, the caramel, or maybe that's the double chocolate one that they've got up there. And basically, you can get multiple flavors. You can get multiple flavors in a box. They are absolutely delicious. They are low carb, low sugar, high fiber, high protein, and keto friendly bars, and they are absolutely delicious. I love them to death. So, if you want to try them out, as well as any of their other products, go to built.com and use the promo code EmbryoArts to get 10% off your order. They are absolutely delicious and lovely way to enjoy a snack each and every time that you have one. So until then, I thank you all for joining in, and we will be back next week with another masking request. It'll be the last of the year of the masking requests. And then we will be doing, I believe it, like I said, I think it's Nanohana and Sailor Moon. Let me pull it up again here. I'll give you the exact title in a second here. And as always, tune into our live streams for gaming and come in and chat. I had a lot of people in the stream. Well, a lot of people for us on the stream yesterday from Twitch. And I'd love to sit there and chat with other people, especially while I'm playing a game that's wordy. I know there's a lot of talking in Tales of Symphonia. I'll be doing a lot of the voices of the characters as they come and talk, but also some of the times when they talk, I can't talk. So next one is, Nanohana disguising as Sailor Moon. That'll be the last of the masking that we have for the season for the rest of this year. So we'll be doing that next stream, so next week. Again, 11 Kingdom Chapter 2 on Thursday. I think we're going to do Tales on Wednesday and Friday. Monday will be Minecraft, I believe. I have not fully made a decision yet. I'll make an announcement later on that. And we will occasionally have the pop-up art streams occasionally. I don't know when those will be. Those will mostly be at nights again, but I hope to see you all there. They will be random, and it's just going to be a matter of just something short we can throw in together. Until then, I hope you all have a good evening, a good night, and a good weekend. Good night, everybody.